Hey, I know that Laura went to the nature trail behind Forum to make a video related to some of the stuff from my side of the mountain, and I wanted to do something similar because we've been talking about the plants and animals that Sam sees or that Sam uses to survive in the book. So I think this is a hemlock tree right here in my yard, and in the video on hemlock trees, it is a kind of pine tree, and the pine needles grow flat sideways. They don't grow in all different directions like some of your pine trees will. These are only growing sideways, and they're green on top and whitish on the bottom, and they produce these tiny little pine cones. That's where the seeds come out of. So as far as I can tell, this is it. Now, this is much smaller than Sam's pine tree, Sam's hemlock tree. Hemlock trees, we learned, can be 600 or 1,000 years old, so a tree that old will be much bigger. In the book, Sam makes some candles out of fat. Now, if you've ever seen your parents cooking dinner, if they cook beef or chicken or lamb or turkey, there's a lot of grease left over, and that grease, when it gets cold, it hardens up like wax. And I just poured that hot wax into a potato, and I know in the book Sam digs up a lot of root vegetables that he says look and taste like potatoes. So this might have been something very similar to what Sam used for light. It's a little bright to see, but it works. I put a little bit of string in there as a wick, and I think string was one of the things that Sam brings with him. So I think Sam could have made candles just like this, although in the book I think he does his in turtle shell. So this is a tallow candle, and a lot of times I know in movies and video games everybody uses torches back in the day, but not so. They would have used tallow candles like this because they're cheap to make. You're just making them with grease left over from your food that doesn't have much other use. So there's that. And let's see, then next we have some crayfish here in the book. Crayfish is one of the early foods that Sam is able to get, and you guys study these, and I had you count the legs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it broke off, but the big claw is the 5th walking leg. So if you have 5 legs on this side, 5 legs on that side, that makes you a decapod. Deca means 10, and so these are related to lobsters and crabs that have 10 legs, including the thing. And what you do is just break it open like this, and you're going to get the meat out of the tail. That tastes kind of like shrimp. Some of you guys said you might like to try this someday. And remember that crayfish are also food to raccoons and brook trout. All right, not bad. Sam makes a lot of traps and snares in his book. He uses Frightful to help him hunt, but he also makes a lot of traps that either choke an animal, that would be a snare, or trap their foot so they can't get away. Or he uses traps called a deadfall, which would drop something heavy on top of the animal and kill it. Now, I'm not going to show you anything like that, but just imagine the animal comes along. Animal comes along this way, and if it goes inside a trap like this, you see that? I just pull the stick, and the box would close and trap it. And I'm just going to bait this with some garlic because that's a nice smelly vegetable, and Sam definitely talks about finding wild garlic. So there. That's that trap. I don't know if Sam does this in the book, but hemlock trees can be made into tea with the pine needles. I got the pine needles here in some hot water. I'm gonna just take that out, and I can drink this. And it tastes like Christmas. kind of piney. So maybe Sam could have used that on those cold nights. Oh, and in my hemlock tree, we know that chickadees like to eat the seeds, and I have a bird nest up here. And in this birdhouse, there's a nest, and it's a couple of chickadees. So if I were Sam and I needed some eggs, then that might be a good place to look. And ooh, oh my gosh, I think my trap is working. Let's see. Oh yeah, get it.